A computer virus destroyed all my files. A full bibliography is needed at the end of all assignments. A lot of agricultural workers came to the East End to look for alternative work. A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly.
A preliminary bibliography is due the week before spring break.
A study skill seminar is on for the students who require assistance. A thorough bibliography is needed at the end of every assignment. Acupuncture is a technique involved in traditional Chinese medicine. All essays and seminar papers submitted must be emailed to your tutor. All filed assignments should have a full list of bibliographies. All necessary information is in the assignment. All postgraduate students should participate in the seminar. All postgraduate students should participate in the seminar. All students must participate in the exercise. All the assignments should be submitted by the end of this week. Allergy problems do run in the family, but we don't understand why.
Anatomy is the study of internal and external body structures.
Any text or references you make should be cited appropriately in the footnotes. Anyone who has a problem with their accommodation should speak to the welfare officer. Applicants for the course probably have a preference over English or journalism. Being a student representative on the union really cuts into my study time.
Companies are to earn money, but not change society.
Conferences are always scheduled on the third Wednesday of the month. Dr. Green's office has been moved to the second floor of the building. Does the college refectory offer vegetarian dishes on a daily basis? Don't forget to hand in your assignments by the end of next week. During the next few centuries, London became one of the most powerful and prosperous cities in Europe.
African elephant is the largest land-living mammal.
Essays should be typed with double space on white paper.
Even with a permit, finding a parking spot on campus is almost impossible.
Exam results will be available next week from the course office. Farmers do not always receive market price for agricultural goods. He's almost never in his office. Higher numbers of patients were infected than during previous outbreaks of the illness. However, this method is problematic in terms of accuracy. I believe children should read aloud more. I could not save my work as my computer crashed. I didn't understand the author's point of view on immigration. I missed yesterday's lecture. Can I borrow your notes? I still don't understand the last sentence. I think the university's main campus is closed. I will be in my office every day from 10 to 12. I will now demonstrate how the reaction can be arrested by adding a dilute acid. I'll start with a brief history of the district, and then focus on life in the first half of the 20th century.
If she doesn't speak the language, she will not sit around and wait for a translator. If you forgot your student number, you will need to contact Jenny Bryce.
If you want to quit the student union, tell the registrar. In English, the first letter of the months of the year is always capitalized. In Europe, the political pressure is similar regarding globalization. In the last few weeks, we've been looking at various aspects of the social history of London. In this library, reserve collection books can be borrowed for up to 3 hours. Information is being given to readers in a format that looks familiar. International students can get help with locating housing near the university. Interpreters are not readily available in this department. It is important to take gender into account when discussing the figures. It's the words of common occurrence that have different referential values. It's time to finalize the work before the Wednesday seminar. I've got a tutorial in an hour and I haven't had any time to prepare for it. Journalism is the collection and publication or transmission of news. Just wait a minute. I will be with you shortly. Knives and forks should be placed next to the spoon on the edge of the table.
Students' loans for higher education are now available for international students.
Make sure you correctly cite all your sources. Many health workers think that pensioners are too old to understand. Many of the urban poor lived in an extremely cramped condition. Many students are so scared of writing essays because they never learned how. Meteorology is a detailed study of Earth's atmosphere. More females than males graduated from universities last year. Most of the assignments should be submitted on the same day.
Most university teaching take place in lectures and seminars.
No more than 4 people can be in the lab at once. Our class is divided into 2 groups. You come with me, and the others stay here.
Physics is the study of matter and energy.
Physiology is the study of internal and external structure of the body.
You need to finish all the reading chapters before the field trip.
Please prepare a PowerPoint presentation for tomorrow's meeting.
The portfolio is due at the Internal Review Office no later than Tuesday.
Put the knife and fork next to the spoon near the edge of the table.
The residence hall is closed prior to the academic building closing time at the end of the semester.
Several documents must be supplied to the university to fulfill the certain requirement.
She has been in the library for a long time.
She is an expert in the 18th century French literature.
The smoke from these contributed a great deal to the air pollution.
Sports is the main cause of traumatic brain injuries in the United States.
Most students can get access to computers on a daily basis.
Students who wish to apply for an extension should approach their tutors.
The agricultural sector in that country is heavily subsidized.
The author expressed an idea that modern readers cannot accept. The bookshop is located at the north end of the main campus. The cafeteria closes soon, but the snack machine is accessible throughout the night.
The clear evidence between brain events and behavioral events is always fascinating.
The course registration opens in early March for new students.
The current statistical evidence indicates the need of further research.
These developments are discussed in more depth Chapter 9.
The English word typhoon comes from the Chinese word big wind. The first few sentences of an essay should capture the reader's attention. The first person in space was from the Soviet Union. Glass is not a real solid because it doesn't have a crystal structure. The hypothesis needs to be tested. The initial results are intriguing. However, statistically speaking, they are insignificant. The lecture on child psychology has been postponed until Friday. The maximum production of chocolate is in U.S. The medical center is located near the supermarket on North Street.
The minimal mark for distinction to be awarded is 75%. The office opens on Mondays and Thursdays directly following the freshman seminar session.
The office said Dr. Smith will arrive later today. The original Olympic Games were celebrated as religious festivals. The part of the story is the story of my father. The pharmacy was closed when I went past this morning. The professor has promised to put his lecture notes online. The program depends entirely on private funding. The psychology department is looking for volunteers to be involved in research projects. The real reason for global hunger is not the lack of food, but poverty. The recent study has thrown out the validity of the argument. The result of the study will be published next month. The School of Arts and Design has an open day on Thursday next week. The seminar on writing skills has been cancelled. The student welfare officer can help you with questions about exam techniques. The theoretical proposal was challenging to grasp. The topic next week on our column will be the nuclear disarmament. The trial experiment is to increase the interests of the issue and the jurisdiction clause. The tutorial is held on the 8th of April. The United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy.
The verdict depends on which side was more convincing to the jury.
The wheelchair lift will be upgraded this month.
There are lots of students competing for the places in computer courses.
There is no entrance fee for tonight's lecture.
There are various approaches for plagiarism across different university departments. There will be a guest lecturer visiting the psychology department next month.
There will be ample opportunities to ask questions about the presentation.
This work will be the starting point of my discussion today.
This is the third time you've asked for an extension on this project. To improve the essay, I decided to include more direct quotes. To receive the reimbursement, you must keep the original receipts. Try to explain how your ideas are linked so that there is a logical flow. We are delighted to have Professor Robert to join our faculty. We are not going to accept the assignment after the due day on Friday. We must put great care when analyzing data. We need to hand in our assignments by the end of the week. We offer a broad range of undergraduate and postgraduate courses.
We will study the following two pictures in the next lecture.
We would like a first draft of the assignment by Monday. What is the most effective way of interaction between teachers and students in class?
When I was in school, I had many of the same problems you have now.
Would you pass me the book on the left-hand side? You can find the student service desk located on the ground floor of the whole building.
You should go to the reception to get your student card.
You should raise your concern with the head of school.
You need to finish all the reading chapters before the field trip.
.5% of Californian residents don't speak English in the home.
Due to the rising demand for the courses, the university should also increase their academic staff.
In consultation with your supervisor, your thesis is approved by the faculty committee. The university celebrated Earth Day by planting trees. I'm glad you got here safely. I used to have coffee with milk and 1 sugar.
Students should take advantage of the online help system before approaching their lectures.
He was constantly looking for ways to bring industry and agriculture together. A demonstrated ability to write clear, correct, and concise English is bigotry. Globalization has been an overwhelming urban and urbanization phenomenon. I can't attend the lecture because I have a doctor appointment. The test selected materials from all chapters in this course this semester. Students will not be given credits for assignments submitted after the due date.
Basketball was created in 1891 by a physical educational instructor.
All students and staff have access to printers and scanners.
Newspapers across the country have been reporting stories of the president.
I would like a cheese and tomato sandwich on white bread with orange juice. Vessels carry blood from the heart to other parts of the body. Answering this complex question with a simple yes or no is absolutely impossible. If you want to receive the reimbursement, you must submit the original receipts.
Student loans for higher education are now available for international students.
I had a sandwich and milk for my breakfast. By clicking this button, you agree with the terms and conditions of this website.
I think your watch is fast. You need to reset it.
Care needs to be taken for vulnerable groups during the periods of turmoil. Please explain what the author means by sustainability. She doesn't care about anything but what is honest and true. The leading scientists speculate that numerous planets could support life forms. Please pass the handouts along to the rest of the people in your row. You will be informed of the results by email. Conservation is the survival of future generations. If you have problems, please contact your tutor.
No crop responds more readily to careful husbandry and skillful cultivation.
Our young people need education and more organized activities. Assignments should be submitted to the department office before the deadline. In the 1830s, periodicals appeared in large numbers in America. Most printers in the computer lab are out of ink.
Nearly half of the television outputs are given away for educational programs.
Number the beakers and put them away before tomorrow. Organic food is growing without applying chemicals and no artificial additives. The bookstore is located on the main campus behind the library. The professor will be the last speaker this evening. The small Indian island is made up of forests and snowy valleys. The study of archaeology requires intensive international fieldwork. The timetable for next term will be available next week.
The United States has developed a coffee culture in recent years.
The U.S. ranks the 22nd in foreign aid, given as a percentage of GDP. What distinguishes him from others is that he used black and white photography. The gap between rich and poor is not decreasing rapidly as expected. The student welfare officer can help students with different issues. All of our accommodations are within a walking distance to the academic buildings.
History is not a simple collection of dates and events.
Biographical information should be removed prior to the publication of results. Environmental friendliness is a new category in which campuses are competing.
Eating too much will lead many health problems.
The contest includes both the land living history and the human history. Please do not bring food into the classroom. To measure distance could take as much as 3 weeks. Higher fees make students think more critically about what universities can offer. I will be in my office every day from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. It is good for the environment and also good for your electricity bill. Company exists for money, not for society.
Students can share their lunch during the break around noon.
It is acknowledged that his work is groundbreaking. Don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions.
The professor plans to discuss issues in the news that reflect concepts taught in class.
You can get a student card at the reception. Please go straight and turn left to reach the library. Your enrollment information, results, and fees will be available online. Alex captured her hands and forced her to drop the potatoes. A renowned economist is selected to have a speech tonight at 8.
Student discount cards can be used on campus at the coffee house.
I don't agree with the author's point of view, but his presentation is good. Our university has strong partnerships with industry as well as collaborative relationships with government bodies. Generally, students have unusual problems in school. Hypothetically, insufficient mastery in the areas slows future progress.
You can pay by cash or using a credit card.
You can download all lecture handouts from the course website. The politics combine both the legislative and the political authorities.
In our university, students have access to 13 college libraries.
Once more, under the pressure of economic necessity, practice outstripped theory. You can retake the module if your marks are too low. The lecture management in Japan will take place in the week 7. Is hypothesis on black hole as rendered moot as explanation of explanations? Meeting with mentors can be scheduled for students who require additional support. The problem with this is that it fails to answer the basic question. Proteins constitute at least 30% of the total mass of all living organisms. Please sort and order the slides of the presentation according to topic and speech time. I expect a long and stagnant debate for a week or two on this issue. Today, we will be discussing the role of the government in preventing injustice. Arteries carry blood from heart to the other parts of the body. We didn't have any noticeable variance between the 2 or 3 tasks. You should inquire about the direct deposit. The United States has the maximum production of chocolate.
It's within the framework that we're carrying out our survey.
This small Indian state is a land of forest valleys and snowy islands.
Fishing is a sport and a means for survival.
As a student union member, we can influence the change of the university. The sports team members often practice on weekdays and play games on weekends. They have enough works to keep them going. His lecture is always useful and stimulated. In my free time, I would like to read current affairs and newspapers.
Animals grow larger and stronger to help them hunt better.
There is a plan in place for those who have difficulty paying their bills.
I don't understand what the comments on my essay mean at all.
Our fundamental realities, especially national needs, have seen the ability to flourish. The Student Service Center is located on the main campus behind the library.
Our School of Arts and Technology accepts applications at all points during the year.
The new English class will start next Monday morning. All source of materials must be included in your bibliography.
The negative discourse continues to be predominant in discussions about gender,
She told the faculty to be very supportive. Essays with few or no citations will be regarded as invalid. Make sure the financial director knows the full details of the pay agreement. Expertise in particular areas distinguishes you from other graduates in a job interview. We want to attract the very best students regardless of their financial circumstances.
The Genetic Biology Technology Lab is located in the north wing of the library.
The older equipment has been put at the back of the building. We're constantly looking for ways to bring industry and agriculture close together.
I would like an egg and tomatoes on white sandwich bread with orange juice. Students should book a library tour in the first week of the first semester.
Since the problems we face are global, we need to find the relative solutions. In 1880, cycling became a major phenomenon in the United States. More muscles are used in swimming than other sports.
It's within that framework that we carry out our survey.
It is interesting to observe the development of language skills of toddlers. We will see if we can get through this without too many interruptions. Many of the university's original buildings are still in use. The key to success in the exam is to study hard and do well.
We have to read the first 5 chapters in preparation for next Monday's tutorial.
Please read the first 5 chapters before the next week's tutorial.
Robert would live in rural areas in London.
The Internet provides unusual opportunities for students and current events.
The university has a lot of travel scholarships available that students can apply for.
To get further extension, you need to call the Education Executive on 401.
The timetable will be posted on the website before the class starts. The trip for the professional training will start soon, so pack the items before we leave. The competency in the language and the assignment is to use more formal words. The competency in the language and the assignment is to use more formal words. Lots of students had money and passports stolen, especially at night.
The number of companies in bankruptcy skyrocketed in the third quarter.
Before reading Chapter 1, you must refer to the lecture notes first. It is of interest to most students to take experiential learning course. Every living thing begins as a single cell.
Children are not allowed to be in the laboratory at any time.
The rules on breaks and lunch hours vary from company to the next.
Contemporary critics dismissed his idea as eccentric.
All old university buildings are still in use. Our capacity to respond to national needs will determine our ability to flourish.
It is argued that students can learn more in collaborating rather than as individual.
I could not save my work as my computer was crashed.
Proficiency in a foreign language may be demonstrated by assessment.
Native discourse continues to be predominant in discussion of gender. The undergraduate students are taught with a rigorous course in our psychology department. Ideally, free trade is beneficial for trading to both two partners. All applications of internship are available in the office.
The geography assignments must be submitted by the midday of Friday.
This is how we deliver healthcare to millions of people over the world. Only those who are over 18 years of age are eligible to open a bank account in our bank. The health center is situated at the corner of the university behind the library. The puppets do comedy routines, and there is some terrific formation dancing. The university supplies a number of scholarships for those who have specific goals. The hypothesis on the black hole is rendered moot as the explanation for the explosion.
The books are filled with drawings of machines he invented when he was a student. There is not enough space for me in the car.
Those students have to retake the module if their marks are too low. Don't forget to take the library tour in the first week of the semester. Her father prevented me from talking to her. The course comprises 20 hours of lectures, seminars, and tutorials per week. If you need help, I can give you a hand in finding a flat. All course materials will be posted online. Please be careful when using online translation programs. Globalization problems need to find globalized solutions. The quality of our accommodation is high, but it is still affordable for students. If you forget your passport, you need to contact the Student Center. The newly discovered star was a subject to global debate about its origin. How do we describe the position of subterranean? The course will be tested at the end of the semester.
We can meet in my office after the lecture. The Student Service Center is located on the ground floor of the PAC building. I would like the assignment less than 2,000 words. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the other theories that can explain the variations in climate. Experience would be an advantage for this managerial role. Your tutor is there to help you, so do ask if you don't understand something.
We have 3 distinctive libraries which are nationally acclaimed. Parking permits can be collected through the Student Service Office. Please don't forget to check your email for the updates of the week. Tuesday's sessions will last for approximately 2 hours. We should focus on innovation, and if we don't, we are bound to lose out. Many industries move to the countryside where manufacturing costs are lower. Everyone should get access to art galleries no matter where they live. Until you complete the form, you cannot attend. There is too much information on this topic. Presentation skills are important to both university and the workplace.
The main sports on campus are rugby, soccer, and tennis.
It is clear that the effects of climate change will damage the world economy. The framework will help pose more research questions systematically. The assignments must be submitted by the midday of Friday. You can only choose one subject from biology and chemistry. It is quite clear that further research is required.
The brain can be called the central computer of the body.
Read the safety instructions before using the equipment during the workshop. The field training will start soon, so pack everything before the deadline.
The library is located on the north side of the campus behind the Student Center.
There is no point in designing efficient cars if we use them more and more.
We should take gender into account when analyzing the data. Unfortunately, the two most interesting economic electives clash on my timetable. Several students raised different examples. Please make an appointment with your tutor about work.
I would like the assignment less than 2,000 words.
The university policy on plagiarism can be viewed on the website. The website is probably the most attractive layout. The data infers that further research is needed. We can discuss education in the tutorial next week. Social work is not the only subject in sociology. The technician left the new microscope in the biology lab. A man who suffered serious brain damage during an operation is suing the hospital. There's an hourly bus service from the campus into the town. Most assignments need to be submitted on the same day. All students must return the books to the college library before the end of the term.
Note that the deadline for the submission of proposals has been extended for a week.
Tuition fees will vary according to the field of study. The current labor force is more competitive than it had been for a long time. The contemporary literature works have been broadened and extended through interpretation. Today's lecture is cancelled because the lecturer is ill.
It is of the utmost importance that you follow the ethical guidelines carefully.
For further information, you need to contact a member of our administration team. Students may not use calculators in the final exams. The first draft of the presentation is almost ready.
I have lectures on Tuesdays from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock. Computer failure is not an excuse for not submitting assignments on time. Mobile phone charges vary enormously from one place to another. Keeping organized class notes will make study time more efficient. Making a profit and protecting the environment needn't be separate aims. You may use your student identification card to borrow books at the library. Would you pass me the textbook on that table?
My favorite sports are soccer, tennis and basketball.
Please make an appointment before attending next meeting. Please make sure you filled in all your details before submitting. There are many welcoming activities for new undergraduate and postgraduate students. This Thursday is the last day for students to withdraw subjects without any penalty. The information you need for this meeting is on the website. Students can choose graduate certificate, or graduate diploma and master course. This office is for students who want to study abroad. We did not think there is any notable variance between two of the three tests. Animal behavior appears to contain both similar and distinct aspects to that of humans. Tomorrow evening, there's a panel discussion on sustainable development. We are not able to accept assignments submitted after Friday's deadline. It's a great privilege to welcome our guest speaker to our college. All postgraduate students in the department are encouraged to participate in these seminars. The examples on the theory of social capital were a challenge to grasp. Key aspects of this investigative paradigm may prove useful in other spheres.
This will be the first art exhibition to be held by the university. I think that to raise the issue and to talk about it is great. The university hosts a wide range of events both on and off campus. Our capacity to serve the community is a vital part of our role. A balanced diet will help you study more effectively. At the end of the day, people want to profit from return on their investment. The support and advice of lecturers within the department has been invaluable.
Tomorrow's lecture has been cancelled due to the power cut.
Restricted scholarships target principally at the students with specific goals. Today we have a guest speaker who is visiting from Canada.
Living in the 21st century is increasingly stressful. This framework allows us to pose further research questions more systematically. Today we have a guest speaker who is visiting from Canada. Please make sure you use the standard form of quotation. But they haven't come into widespread use yet. Please read the article that was given out yesterday. Compiling a bibliography can present a major challenge for some students. By logging in, you agree to all terms and conditions regarding your enrollment. We weren't able to agree on the appropriate independent variables. Most of the student advisors are extremely helpful. If you are worried about your work, you should see a study counselor. We have specially assigned staff to help you find appropriate work placements. The assessment of this course will begin next week. It is expected that all students have their own laptops. We are committed to recording the best students regardless of their financial situations. You have to submit the project by the end of the week. None of the students found it difficult to get a job. His particular interest is in the 18th century French society. Such behaviors are regarded as a deviation of the norm. You must ensure you do not include too much irrelevant information. She is doing a master's degree by distance learning. The campus library will be closed during the winter break. Digital scans of archive materials are provided for a small fee. The bus for London will leave 10 minutes later than planned. The energy that we absorb from the food we eat can help us prevent the cold and become warmer. The result of the experiment indicates that further research is needed. You need to use a Bunsen burner and a test tube. I haven't done a lot of work in this area. Your abstract should contain the empirical evidence of your research. This program is running in partnership with a number of departments. Students are not allowed to speak when they are in the examination hall. We often ask our students to get access to all sorts of services. Try to get through it as soon as possible.